Hello gamers and welcome to the most complete Arc Raiders guide you will ever need. This is the guide you are looking for. This guide will include everything from beginners to advanced, so if you just bought Arc Raiders, this is the holy bible that will teach you everything that you need to know about the game. Now, if you are advanced, there are also tips and tricks for people that have been going into many hours into this game that will probably help you as well. So the most important thing in this game, and it's the most simple one to track, is the materials. When you buy the game, you go into the game, you find materials, and you don't know what you need and what you don't. So the first thing you need to do when you go into the game is to go to your workshop. Down here, you will have your own workbenches. Now I have them all level 3, but you will have to create yours. And because they are important, you have to go on the level up if you have already created them, and do keep track on the resources. What is this? For example, I will do it in one of my blueprints right here. I want to keep these materials. I don't know if they are useful or not. I have them here, but I just randomly pick them. So what am I doing is I go here, I go to the item that I want or to the bench that I want to level up, and I press track resources. What that does is it gives you this small eye right here. It means that this material is important for you because you are tracking its resources. So the most important things to craft your resources, of course, are your workbenches, any of them. Like when you craft them, all of them, you will see that they were level 1. And if you track their resources, it will tell you what materials to keep. So this is for starters because you don't need to keep all the materials you get. Apparently, you will find them. But as a start, you need to track your resources and level up your benches one by one, slowly and steady. So now in the beginning, you will want to keep all your materials, and it's normal, I can understand, but you won't have enough stars. So the problem is that if you go to your stars right here, you will have a number. In the beginning, it's very small, it's 40 or something like that. You will have to give your coins in order to expand your inventory. So in the beginning, you have to keep all the materials that you have tracked in order to progress your benches, and you will sell the rest. Also, there is something really important. There are some items with a little diamond on them. They are called trinkets, and these are being sold only for money. There are only 3 trinkets you will need in order to upgrade your rooster. So Scrappy the Rooster goes up to level 5, or how I like to call him, our beloved cock with COQ, don't get your dirty minds up. We need only 3 trinkets. These trinkets are dog collar, cat bed, and pillows in order to get him to level 5. So keep these items in your stash if you find them until you level up your cock. Okay, now that we have a basic idea of how to find which materials are important to us, I will give you exactly which materials are being used mostly, because after 150 hours of gameplay, I found out that some materials are really important to have all the time on you, and some others are good to have, but they are less usable, and maybe let's make them optional, depending on the gear you're going to use and how you want to run your raids. So the first and most important material in the game is metal parts. And why do I say that? Because every time you go for a raid, you need to craft your weapon, upgrade your weapon, and create parts for your weapon, and also the bullets. So this is the thing you will consume mostly every time you go to raid. Because if you want to upgrade your weapon, you have to make mechanical components. Mechanical components need metal parts. Also, if you have an advanced weapon, rare or epic, you will need advanced mechanical components, where again you need mechanical components, where again they need metal parts. Most stuff in the game require metal parts. Okay, so moving on from gray parts, we have the advanced parts, the green parts. As you can see here, these are the green parts, and the most important ones to have are for your augments, electrical components, and magnets. Because you will want to go out with blue gear. If you want to go out with green gear, you can take this for free. You don't need so many plastic parts and rubber parts, and I will explain how later on the free loadout. The second most important thing you will need to have is steel springs, because steel springs are being used for the magazines of your weapons, and wires, and as you can see everywhere you need these metal parts, and duct tape. So let's go again one more time. For the green things, you will need duct tape, springs. I'll go right here so you better. Duct tape, electrical components. You will also need springs and gun parts. The simple gun parts are really important because it's the way you upgrade your weapons from level 1 to level 4. Another thing you might need a lot is if you are playing with grenades, you will need crude explosives because this is the way to create explosives. Now, the batteries are important, but you can also recycle them to get metal parts. This is what I did in the beginning. And the arc alloys are really important. In the beginning also, you recycle them for metal parts, but as you move forward, you can see that they are being used in different recipes. For example, creating arc circuits and motion cores. So these are on the workbench, on the refiner part. You will be using these all the time. And moving on, we have the rare parts. Let's go right here. The rare materials are mostly being refined from your workbench if you have them level 3. What you need to be careful is if you find cooling fans, you need to keep them at least 3 because you will have a project to complete. Now, from the rare items, you need almost everything. The reason you need almost everything is because, for example, the air coolant, you don't need it, you will have to recycle it. Also, this one is for rubber parts. The most important ones are the ones you are going to have tracked. Also, anything that says gun parts, light gun parts, heavy gun parts, medium gun parts, they are extremely important to have if you are planning to play with blue weapons and epic weapons. These are really important. Also, the processors are important and the sensors are also important because, as you can see here on the workshop, you need the processors and the advanced electrical components. Here you need the voltage converters, the arc circuit and batteries, but these are all things that you can track. So, in conclusion, the metal parts are the king of the materials. You will always need metal parts. And the best things you can keep after that are the green ones: electrical components, magnets, wires, mechanical components, and steel spring, duct tape, and simple gun parts. Okay, these are the kings. Why I say that? Because from the green parts, you also have the utility station, the refiner that you can craft the blue things that you need, and then some epic. So you will need to start with the basic ones, and you will always have materials for the other ones. So if you are stacked on gray and green items, you can craft your blue items in order to have more space in your inventory, and then farm the simple parts again and upgrade them and so on. This is what I do. Okay, that's why right now I have mostly big materials. You see, I have plenty of them, and I don't have many of the gray ones because I consume them to create the big ones. So this is what you do. You go from the small, you create the big, and then you farm the small because the small is the easiest one to form. Also, one really important material that you always need to keep is the seeds, and always pick them when you found them outside. In the beginning, I didn't pay attention to seeds and I was selling it for money. This is not the case though, because here on the traders, there is a list where you can buy all this amazing stuff, and also you have infinite amount of metal parts you can buy, which is really important. Never forget this. Your seeds are your bread and butter for the materials you are missing. So since we have everything right now, we know what materials to keep, we go outside and we start fighting. We lose our loadouts and we go in with a free loadout. That's fine, we go with the free loadout. Here you can see you have a free loadout augment. Many people don't know that when you extract safely with a free loadout, you go back to the traders and to the clinic, and you can exchange your free augment, looting augment, with one of the green ones. That's why before I said green gear in augments is not important, because you almost always have a free loadout that you extracted with, so you can swap it for a green augment. So now that we have covered the most basic things, let's talk about the traders. The traders reset every day. So that means if you come here and you buy this epic weapon with 30,000 credits, tomorrow it will reset and we'll have another one. So if you are having enough money, okay, enough coins, you can buy stuff from here, and the next day they will reset. Same goes for every other one. They have a specific amount of things you can buy. As example, for 1 key here, or 1 epic heavy shield here. So make sure to not spend your money until you have finished with your stash. This is really important. So first, upgrade your stash to 280 slots, and then try to buy everything from the traders. So now that we have everything about materials, workshop, traders, it's the moment to talk about the talent tree. So the skill tree, I have here the metaphors up where I can show you what's important and what's not, because I messed a bit mine in the beginning, and the reset will take some time. We cannot reset our talents unless we do the project, which I will talk about in a bit. So let's start off climbing and vaulting more quickly. You will only need these things in mobility. You don't need more. Moving around costs less stamina and increase your max stamina, really important. And then after sprint dodge roll, sprinting does not consume stamina for a short time. This is good for PvP. So this is everything you're going to need for mobility. And then we go to survival. We have to take this in order to move forward. We'll take all of them. It's good also for PvP when you crouch and move faster. We're only going to take 2 of those here and 1 here. And then we're gonna go, when searching container loot is revealed faster, really important for faster looting. We need to loot fast and go away. You make less noise when looting, so people cannot hear you. While critically hurt, your movement makes less noise, which is also important. You're walking like a limp. Increases the maximum weight you can carry, really, really important. The augments that you get give you a specific amount of weight you can carry, and this increases it, really, really important. While looting, there's a chance to reveal twice as many items as once. Very important also to see the loot fast and grab it and go. Then we have, here we got the craft, the ability to craft inside the zone. So if you are inside the raid, you press escape, and on the top there is a bar that says crafting. You go there, you press, and you can craft anything you have materials for. So we go to unlock additional items to field craft. Then 5 points when looting a raider containers, you have small chance finding additional field crafted items. Very important for seeding and small things like this. We also get good as new while under a healing effect stamina generation is increased in order to finally reach security breach, which is the most important one. Now from the green tree, we're gonna go use to the weight 3 points here in order to have less penalty when we are wearing a better shield. So the better shield you are wearing, the more it encumbers your speed. So you need this. 1 point on your hearing about explosions because we just need the points. 1 here of fight or flight. You make less noise when breaching. 1 on 5 only, and we need 5 here. Breaching doors and containers take less time. You want to be as fast as possible. So we're gonna need maybe 1 more point. Sorry, I'm missing a point, I think. 5 and 5. Oh, we need 5 more points. 64 on 75. Let's put them. Less noise when breaching. So you unlock these. Yeah. If your shield breaks, your first dodge roll within a few seconds does not cost you stamina, which is really important. Breaching an object generates resources, really important also. And your equipped weapon has less impact on your encumbrance. This is when you are overweight, which is also really important. We have these are the most important things you should get. Also with this one, when you're critical hit, your stamina regenerates faster. After that, there are 3 more points. You can take either these. It doesn't really matter. You can only go up to 75 level. These ones that I showed you are the really most important ones, and this would be a perfect skill tree if you want to follow. Now, if you haven't done this and you have done mistakes as I have done, do not worry, and I will tell you why. So every 60 days we have a reset. So if you're over 20 level, you will have the projects unlocked. Now I have finished mine, but if you go to project, you will see that it says that this is the caravan that will take all our materials and leave. Now, when this happens, when you start the project, you will have 6 different categories to implement items inside. This is only for your reset. So if you do this and you put all the materials inside, nothing will happen. You will have to wait for the expedition to start. Now, this will be happening, as they said, every 60 days. So every 60 days, you will be able to reset your character and get some benefits. So let's go and see what's happening. So when you're making an expedition, you put a lot of materials inside for 6 different parts. You complete all the 6 parts. Your expedition is ready, as you see right here. And you're about to start the expedition. That means that you are going to lose your character completely. So all your stats upgrade progress is gone. Inventory, items, everything, you put them inside the expedition. You have 7 days to put everything and do the restart after the expedition starts. So You lose your coins, levels, skill points, Raider Den, workshops, everything. You lose everything. Okay. And what you keep? The unlocked workshop stations, okay? And the codex entries and Raider tokens and credits, blah, 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 blah. This is not important. The important thing is that you take cosmetics, bonus skill points earned from expedition. What does that mean? That when the expedition leaves, any materials you put inside the expedition, apart from finishing the project, because they are two different things. One is all the materials you put into the project, you finish the project, and then in order to go for the expedition, you need to put materials into the expedition. So the more materials you put in the expedition, the more skill points you take. And then you will earn extra stash slot points from the expedition. That means that, in my understanding, because we didn't have a reset yet, we will go over 280 slots. And this is really important for those people that have finished already the game. Now, here it says that you can also earn bonus skill points based on the value of the items you stash upon departure, what we said, but it says up to 5 skill points. I don't know if this is true or not, but we will see. Missing the departure window means losing its buffs until the next cycle, so plan your contributions and availability ahead of time. That's okay. But if you fucked up your skill tree, this is what you have to do. This is important to keep the people going because my inventory is full. I go out only for PvP. I need more slots for my inventory so I can grab more stuff and play more PvP. That's all. Another important thing you unlock by leveling up into the game is the trials. And what's the trials? Every week this one resets. There are different ranks. You can see here it starts from Rookie 1 and goes up to Cantina Legend, where the things that you get are cosmetics and some emotes. And what do you do on trials is every week this is different. So for example, let's go from the start. Damage wasps. Every time you go into a map, you damage wasps, and when you extract, you have some points. And if you fill up to 4,000, for example, you get all these rewards and an epic one. So it's 1 green, 1 blue, and 1 epic. So you have to do this for your extra loot. As you can see, I have it here. And the more points you score, the better position you get on the leaderboards in order to rank up. For example, now that I'm a Rookie 3, if I keep my position, I take double promotion in 4 days. That means I will go to Tryhard 2. And you move forward like this, and you're finally gonna reach the Cantina Legend. So reminder of a weekly to do this stuff every week in order to get your extra rewards, which are very, very nice, and to climb the leaderboards to get your new emotes and your new cosmetics. So also, before going on the map, what you need to check are the events. Right now on my map, there are not many events. There is prospecting probes, electromagnetic storm, and night raid. So let's say you decided to go for a quest, or you decided you want to upgrade your rooster. There are specific events that will help you to do these things faster. Let me bring a map, not a map actually, it's a site. It's from the Arc Raiders fandom wiki. So why this is really useful. Here you can see all the events, because even if you don't have the events, because you see some on the map, you have all the events here explaining all the information that you get. And it gives you event times when these are happening and on which map. And let me tell you why. For example, we have blooms. Okay, at some point when you upgrade your rooster in the game, it asks for lemons, for mushrooms, for any kind of natural stuff that you have to get, fruits and stuff. So if you go on a map that has blooms, there are specific small baskets with many fruits in it. So it saves you a lot of time. You don't have to wander in every map to try to find the fruit that the rooster requires. This is really, really important because also for probes is for materials that you might need. Night is always for extra loot and PvP. So you have to understand, what do I need to do now, and then find the specific event, or go check your map. What event is up? Oh, maybe because prospecting probes are out and I need art materials, I will go and do that map instead of a spaceport or a buried city, or instead of doing a quest right now. So choose what you want to do, choose your loadout, check your map, and combining all this knowledge, you will have a maximum amount of income or materials or whatever that is that you may want to do. So now we are going to talk about the loadouts. When do we use what and why? So you can use any loadout you want, but this is going to be my personal preference and what I recommend to you. When you start and going out for quests, because quests give you materials and give you plenty of things, which is really, really nice. I finished the first target I had is to finish all the quests in the game. So you go out with the free loadout because you don't know the position of the quest, you don't know where to find it and what will happen on the way. And while you're searching, you don't want to get caught up in a fight and die trying to do the quest. So you have to decide every time that you go outside the map what do you want to do. So if you go for quests, I would recommend going with a free loadout. So if there is an item that you need to have with you when you're doing the quest, or you are going to find an item and extract it with the quest, you need to go with the green loadout so you have a safe pocket with you. Now, if you want to go out and do light scavenging, you always get green loadout. And when I say green loadout, I see green augment, a shield, and probably, you know, a gray or a green item. So that's a green loadout. You always want to have a safe pocket with you because you might find something good. Now, if you go outside in order to XP and PvP, you need to go with the blue loadout, blue shield, blue augment in order to carry more stuff and to be able to support the blue shield. And because you're going to be loud, you're going to be hunting, you're going to be scavenging, you're going to be doing everything, you have to be safer. So this is the best. And then if you want to go for the queen, you're going to go with purple loadout. If you want, actually, you can do it with blue loadout as well. Doesn't really matter. When you're up from blue, rare and epic loadout, you can get whatever you want. So this is my proposal. This is what I have been doing, and it has been successful so far. So if you want to do it, do the same. Also, with the free loadout, you go every time that you feel you're low on materials and you cannot craft something, spam free loadout, go inside an area, scavenge it fast, extract fast, and do that on repeat in order to get your stash full again. And now I will also give you a very important link. This is an interactive map that has been created by players, where they give you the exact spots for everything you might need, from quests to events to nature to arc. You can find all the information. I will put those two links in my description. These are the most amazing tools you can have if you want to hunt, if you want to go for specific materials, if you want to go for anything you might want. All the information are right here, and we are very thankful for the people that created this map. See the links in the description below. So these were pretty much the most basic things that you need to know. They are very important. It will give you the first impression of how you need to play before you start going into the maps. And of course, if you are bored to do any of these and you just want to pew, you just put your free loadout, go out, kill people and do whatever you want and hope for a good extract. So now we're going to talk about one very important part of the game, and this is the movement. The movement is going to help you escape arcs, players, and many other things, like surprise your opponents or go to hidden spaces and stuff like that. So let's go. Okay, so let's talk about the most basic ones, that is how to jump off ledges. So here, let's see. If I jump off of this ledge, I will just do damage to myself, which is this. Okay, so now you probably know that if you press Alt before the touching down, you are not gonna take any damage, like so. But what you maybe didn't know is that there's also another way to do it. Because if you're sprinting, because now I was walking, if you're sprinting and on the edge you press Alt, you go down like a ninja. This makes you faster than the other people that will use the previous technique. So remember, if you are running just before the edge, press the roll and you're gonna go down like a ninja. So another important info I have to give you: while you're moving on the map, you should always press your slide. So you are going to win stamina like this. Because look, when I go slide right here, then slide again, my stamina completely stays the same all the time. So if you find even the slides downhill, you better slide. You see, I'm covering all this distance and still my stamina is up. You see? This is very important also when you're trying to escape enemies. Another really nice way to avoid enemies or to surprise enemies is this. For example, let's say you're having a fight with an enemy down there, okay? And what you do is you want to go to the bottom layer of this building by doing like so. You're going to the edge of the building, you drop down and you press space. If you press space, you're going to get yourself hung and try to come up. Now, the point is not to hang on the wall. The point is to go on the floor underneath. So what you do is two ways. You either drop and press space on the second floor, okay? Or, if you're afraid to do so, you just go on the edge here, press space, and then control the drop, and then space, and then you can do this, like going down from a building completely. By pressing space control, space control, space control, you can go all this building, all space control, and reach the floor without anyone realizes where you are, because people will expect you to take stairs, will expect you to take ropes, and anything else but this. So parkour is a very nice way to live away from bad situations, okay? I'll just give you an example now of how to escape enemies. For example, we find enemies over there and we're trying to go there with the zip line, and they see us. We drop fast, you grab, you drop, and then you are off the building and no harm was done. This can happen in many different situations, as you can imagine. You'll have to improvise and be a good parkour player. Okay? This is up to you. Now that we have finished with the most basic parts of the game, here comes another really important part of the game, is about weapons and how and when do we use them. Now, my personal recommendation about your loadouts is that every time you go out on a raid, you need to bring two kinds of weapons. The one will be the weapon you will be using mostly against arcs, and the other one you will be using for PvP. Not that you cannot use both against arcs and PvP, but I will explain why. So, as the name suggests, the heavy will be always good against armor penetration against arc enemies, medium a little less effective, and light less effective as well. So you always need two weapons to have with you. One with heavy in order to be able to fend off drones or any other arc that might go against you, and a medium or a light for PvP. That doesn't make medium ammo weapons ineffective against the arc, but it means that it will be less effective. That's the only reason I suggest to have a heavy weapon with you to kill the arcs very, very easy. Now, what do we have to say about the ranking of the weapons? Of course, you have the common, the uncommon, the rare, and the epic. All weapons work extremely well in every situation. The only thing that you have to do every time that you go out is to level up your weapons, because they become better. Even the grey weapons are great in PvP if you know how to use them. For example, Stitcher is an amazing weapon, but it lacks magazine size. So if you upgrade it to level 4, see, let's craft one and upgrade it to level 4. It gives you a reduced reload time and reduced horizontal recoil, which we want. So we level it up, and as you level it up, you take these bonuses. The problem with the Stitcher, for example, is that it needs always to have a mag. Now, I don't have the parts right now to create a mag, because I've used all my springs and I need to go far more. But this gives +5 magazine size. You need about 30 bullets to kill someone with the Stitcher, but if you are close and all the bullets hit the target, the reload is quite fast, so you will get what you want. So my recommendations are the following. Every part, every gun is usable in specific situations. So let's start with Stitcher. Stitcher is a very good weapon for PvP. I will assume that you level up all your weapons and you don't go outside with level 1 weapons. So Stitcher number 1 for PvP close combat. The Rattler is good for close to medium range. The only downside of this weapon, if you level it up, it has more ammo, but you have to put the ammo one by one, which makes it really bad in fighting situations. Kettle, also really amazing. The good thing with Kettle is that you press it one by one, the bullets, you press the trigger one by one, so that means you are most of the times trigger disciplined when you are using it, because if you are not, you're dead. Hairpin, not a great weapon, it's only for stealthy missions. I don't really use it and I don't really like it. Pero is a good weapon if you want to play in open maps like Blue Gate and you're not going in confined spaces. Now, I don't have all the weapons here, but what I can show you is this amazing Reddit article that has everything that you need to know about weapons, how fast they kill. You can see here the effective DPS. You can see the damage, their fire rate, and the mag size, and how do they reload. What you need to actually check is the effective time to kill. And as you can see, for about the Stitcher, it has 1.61 seconds to kill someone. And Bobcat, which is the equivalent epic, it takes 1.22 seconds. So it's really, really amazing. They are very close to each other. Okay, I can understand that an epic weapon is much better, but you will see that a white weapon can also do the job. So as I said before, what is the most important is to have a clear assignment on your head. So let's say you want to go to Blue Gate. Blue Gate is an open map. You will need to have a sniper with you, for example, I'm saying. But if you are planning to go in confined space, it might be better to get a shotgun with you and maybe a pistol, because and an SMG, because things in a confined space can get rough really hard. So you will need grenades. In an open space, you don't really need grenades and machine guns, let's say, or a gun like shotgun, because it could be completely ineffective. So you might want to go for an anvil, you want to go for a venator, and if you have great distances for a renegade or osprey or even pharaoh. The point is that I want to point out that all the guns in this game are really good, depending on the situation you want to use them. Okay, now I would say avoid Rattler, because Rattler can be a pain, and go for a Stitcher with an extra magazine, or a Kettle with an extra magazine for a close combat situation, or an Il Toro in a close combat situation. Okay, that's what I mean. Now, depending on the materials you have and how you want to fight, you can take a blue weapon or an epic weapon. I will show you a clip how Bobcat actually really melts people, because it's a really amazing SMG. There are also guns like Hallcracker, which is only used against Darks. There's no point to get this into the game if you don't want to kill the Queen, or if you don't want to go for XP farm to kill Bombardiers, Rocketeers, or anything like that, or a Bastion. You have Volcano, which is an amazing shotgun, especially if you level them up. All these weapons are far more effective if they are level 4 than on level 1. It's a great difference, a level 1 to level 4 weapon. I'm saying this because you might have a fight and you both have the same weapon. If his weapon is level 4 and your weapon is level 1 and you have the same kind of accuracy, you will always lose if you have the same items. Okay, a really important thing, when you come back from combat, from a successful raid, always repair your shield. Never forget this, because there are many situations that I have played a lot of PvP in the game and my shield would break and I would have to find another from a dead body and continue on. Okay, never forget to repair, and also your weapons, because sometimes you might find yourself with a broken weapon. So I'm gonna leave you with this information. I'm gonna put the link up in the description so you can take your time and see what weapons are better suited for you, or what do you think, in your opinion, are the best weapons. All I've got to say, all the weapons are really good depending on the situation you are using them and what feels more comfortable for you to play. Now, as parting words, I would suggest you take any weapon that you want to try into the shooting range, or just go to the shooting range and take these guns right here to see how the mods are working and what you should use. I would suggest everything that says a vertical and horizontal recoil is very good for anything that has automated fire, like Stitcher, Rattler, and everything that has automated fire. If you want to play with this that is semi-automatic, or other weapons that are semi-automatic, I would suggest going for the same things, but the change would be in the must break. For example, this is better for, it's good for all the weapons, okay? But for the semi-automatics, you need to keep your recoil, because the bullet goes to the target. For auto attacks, for full auto guns, let's say, you need a compensator that reduces per shot dispersion, because when you are automatically shooting, the bullets do not go exactly into the target, they go around the target also, and I will explain how. Let's take these two and I will show you the difference. So, let's put this here. Let's start with the Stitcher. So I will start in this point and you will see where the bullets will go. So this was a full clip and you saw it went up very much and the bullets were not hitting a straight line. So if you put the compensator, look at the difference in the bullet spreading. You see, there's a huge difference on where the bullets are going. So now if you practice this, you can practice your mouse movement to keep it on the same level. So let's go for a head on this doll. So you can see that most of the bullets hit my target because of the compensator. Now let's take some ammo. Sorry. Okay. You cannot take this ammo back with you at home. They're only for here. Let's put some more horizontal recoil. You can choose horizontal and vertical recoil. There are two different things. Vertical is when the target goes up and down, and horizontal is when it goes right and left. The thing is, you have to understand the movement of the mouse. So you have, if the weapon is going up, you have to drag your mouse down. The same goes for left and right. If the weapon goes left and right, you have to adjust your mouse. The easiest way to compensate on this with your mouse movement is to go for the horizontal recoil, because the horizontal is harder to control, but the vertical you have to drag your mouse down. That's the only difference. So go for the horizontal ones, and let's see the difference of a normal weapon. Let's take another stitcher and show it like this. Or there's no other, there is one. There we go. So we are not gonna use mouse movement at all. We're just gonna shoot. This is no attachments. And here we go, it's with attachments. There's a huge difference on the bullet spread. So, departing words, get your weapons here. See how you need to move the mouse in order to hit your enemies. Know that if you are moving while shooting, your bullets will go off in a different space because your target gets bigger. You can also adjust your crosshair if you go to settings right here. Here on accessibility, you go to your crosshair and you try all these settings for your crosshair. That's up to you. So I'm playing the simple cross, so it's up to you. Before you guys go, I would really like to thank you for watching this video. It really means a lot to me. And if you have any question, inquiries, or anything you would like to ask, even playing together, please come by my stream. I'm streaming every day on Twitch. My name is exactly the same as YouTube, Th3Ruthless. I would love to have a conversation with you and help you with anything you might want in the game. See you on the next one.